Good morning, everyone. It's Terry here from 10,000 Dreams, on for our regular Tuesday chats again. Just 30 seconds while I set myself up a phone that I didn't do beforehand. I wanted to chat today, though, with Natalie from Vigor Graphics. So if those of you who know us from the Toowoomba area and beyond, many will know Nat already. She has been in business for a lot longer than I have with what I'm doing. And but Nat, would you like to introduce yourself to everybody today and let them know who you are and what you do? And I will be monitoring the chat here so that if there's any questions, I can pass them on and we can have a chat. This is what Tuesday chats are all about.
That's it. Okay, well, I'm Natalie Fogarty and I have Vigor Graphics. We do rural and regional web design, graphic design, logos, branding, SEO and web maintenance. We also do our own hosting and domain names and everything that goes along with that.
Yeah. So, like, that's a huge space of things that you do there. Where did that start? Tell me the history behind how you ended up, where you are today with what you're doing.
Well, in another life, I had a different job and, yes, and anyway, we decided to have a family and we ended up having twins, which wasn't kind of in the plan, but it was very welcomed. And I couldn't jump out of tall buildings in single bounds anymore. And so I decided I would work from home and I thought I would do some overflow work for my mum and dad who were in newspapers at the time. And within a month I had to go and get my own ABN because I had that much work on that I couldn't really do their work, and it just went on from there. And that was 16 years ago, and we've been going ever since. It's just great.
Yeah, it's amazing to see the shifts, like when you sit and talk to you about the story about how your business is growing and all that other stuff. It's phenomenal. And like you said, that starting that, you were just going to help mum and dad a bit, give them a bit of a hand with what they were doing.
Yes.
And here you are, because I'm assuming by now mum and dad are out of that business and you've just kept on powering forwards with your own.
Yes.
Which is very, very cool. Yeah. Yeah. So, what was the starting point? Was it the graphic design that you started with and you built on from there, or what did it look like in the beginning?
So in the beginning, I was doing logo design and graphic design. And so that was everything from obviously people's logo through to their style guide and helping them establish a brand identity. And then after that, of course, the clients would then need brochures and business cards and all those kinds of stickers, signage for their shops, right through to their vehicles. And so it started off me more being in graphic design.
Yeah.
Then about I think 2010, I think it a company came to me and said, "Do you build websites?" I said, "No, but I'm willing to have a go." Anyway, so I did and never looked back. And so obviously I've trained since, but I'm a bit like Richard Branson. If I don't know how to do it, I'll learn. I'll find a way to learn.
Yeah.
Research and learn and do it.
Yeah. And look, I love that about you, because I know when I first started working with you, I had a question about the CRM and that I had chosen to go with. And you're like, I have no idea, but I'll find out. I'm like, I just love that's your perspective on all these things, that it's, and you were so excited about the process of finding out. That's what I think that is what draws so many people to you, is that excitement and enthusiasm to move forwards, whatever that looks like,
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
And like we have a huge, meaning you included, circle of business friends who have this wealth of knowledge, like all over Australia and all over the world. So like, it doesn't matter where you are in the world, there's always someone who can help you or tell you or give you a few lessons.
Yeah, absolutely. Michelle has left a comment. She's saying, beautiful Natalie Fogarty. Good morning. Fogarty, sorry. I always
Good
say
morning.
and ask Nat and she just knows all sorts. It's so true. Because you do. I mean, that's the thing. Once you've been in business for a while, you pick up so, and as a, ongoing learner, as I know that you are, you'll pick up so much stuff about all sorts of different things. It's not necessarily that you're going to offer those as paid services within your business, but you end up learning so much about business and being able to share so much that, yeah, you can sometimes feel like you like people who are newer to business, they come to you and go, yeah, absolutely, Nat knows all of it. We'll start there. And if Nat doesn't know, someone else will, or she'll know someone who knows.
Yes, that's exactly right. And I just, I don't think you should be a jack of all trades, and a master of none. I think you really need to have, for a successful business, is hone down into what you are really, really good at and be really good at that. And then, yes, there are people in your circle who are better at other things. So shift it across to there. And I mean, at the end of the day, we just want to see the client succeed and for them to flourish and for their business to flourish and them to gain all the financial rewards that come along with that.
Yeah. What's the favorite thing that you get to do in your business? What do you love the most?
I love researching the background of a business before we build their website. So I love trying to find out exactly where they are, make sure their branding and everything is all in alignment with their website, but all that family history, the background stuff, how it got started, the things that motivate them, things that makes the business tick, I guess all that background work. And then obviously the day you go, here's your first proof of your website, and you get an email back or someone on the phone going, oh my goodness, it's just so good. That's exactly what we're after. Because sometimes Jemay and I pretty much can build a website from the back of a napkin, you know. It's just not always that someone knows what they want or need, or we have two kinds, obviously, people who know exactly what they want. And then we'll have people who go, I need a website. What do I do? And we guide both of them through that. So
it's amazing, isn't it, to see, because I've had that similar sort of thing, when I came to you with the website that you built for me last year, and I'm like, I think I need this, and I'm not real sure, and then it's like, hello, holy smokes.
And sometimes you just got to push through, isn't it? Like,
yeah, absolutely. And because it's, it's such a, I found it such a, like it's an exercise in vulnerability, there's so much of me as the business owner on a plate on that website. And I'm like, okay.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's a challenge, definitely. I see. Oh, Chantal stopped on. Chantal Corish.
Hi, Sean.
She and I went to school together.
Really?
So you know her. Yeah. We were the same year.
So Shani and I worked on Border Living magazine for many years. I was her graphic designer for Border Living magazine, which was a very successful magazine that went. I'm thinking 15 years. It went for a long time.
Yeah. Well, Shani's just put in here that you did her wedding, and you were just starting out and did her wedding invitations, and she's still married.
Yes.
Shani was our head boarder the year that I was grade 12. Yeah, because we were the same year at school. So lovely. That's so cool. I love when people jump on here and chat with us as we're chatting. It's lovely to have extra people join in the conversation.
It is.
So what's the least favorite thing about what you do?
I'm just trying to think. Nothing. Sorry. I love it. Sorry. I know. Cold coffee. Cold coffee. How about that one?
Did you get distracted?
Oh yeah, I do get distracted. Yes.
Yeah, or you get, like I've seen, you get in your zone and the rest of the world just doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Which
Yes.
is brilliant. I need to learn that. Seriously, I was like that when I was at school. I was in the zone, and now it's no.
Yeah.
Squirrel brain has kicked in hard. Anyway, so I know right now you've got Jemay, who works with you there in your beautiful studio. Actually, before we go down that path, tell me about this, where you are right now, because this studio is where you are as a relatively new development in your business. Tell me about that.
Yeah. So back in 2020, I was deciding whether we needed to open down the main street or have an office or something, because I was working from a dining room in the front of the house, but it was, set up as an office. And Jemay was on board as well, and we definitely needed to do something. And when I was in Gundawindi, I had my own studio, and it was the most, like, you have to have that separation between work and home. Anyway, so we were plodding along with that, and I decided, would I hire office space, that kind of a thing. And then when COVID came along, just at that point when I was making a decision, I thought, no, I really, really want to build a studio in my front yard. And so that sealed it. That just said, well, you know what, this isn't going to go away, so we may as well, make ourselves a little sanctuary where we can work, and we're safe, and at that time safe, and we can go to work in a nice environment. And so I've built this gorgeous studio, which is just an absolute pleasure to come to work. And we've got a fire, and it's nice and warm, and it's cool in summer. And most mornings I walk out, huge traffic commute, I can tell you, 200 meters, and along a little path. And then most mornings when I come out, it's covered in fog, and it's just really beautiful. And I get to sit here. I've got a wall of windows in front of me here, and and it's just a really creative, beautiful space.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And so tell me about the images that we can see behind you at the moment.
Oh, okay. Here and here.
Oh,
yes. So sometimes it's a multi-purpose space. 90% of the time we use it for work, and we have our own desks and a meeting area and those kinds of things. Other times it's a place for workshops, so we can everything's pretty much on wheels, and we can move everything around and set up a workshop area. We've also got blank walls that we use for your overhead projector kind of style things, and we also have it as a little gallery in times. So just recently for August, well, it's still August, last day, it's been in the in-studio art trail. So that meant that artists like the artists of Crow's Nest, along with Crow's Nest Arts and Crafts members, we all get together, and there's this beautiful in-studio art trail. So for 30 days, every weekend, 30 odd artists all open their studios, and you can do a trail and come and visit us, all working and displaying our art. And if you get inspired, that's great. Or if you want to buy something, you can pop that under your arm and take that home too.
That's awesome. I love the functionality, like the multifunctionality that you've built into your studio there. It's just obviously a lot of thought and planning has gone into it, and it is absolutely a beautiful space. That little mini deck thing that you have out the front, I know that you're planning to extend that eventually, and it'll just be phenomenal. It's so amazing there. And yes, I must say I do love it when I get to go over there for meetings.
Yes, it is.
It's a very inspiring and but welcoming little space to be.
Thank you.
So tell me, what does your dream business look like? What are you working towards?
I feel like I'm in it.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, I really. Maybe I could. My dream business would be 4 days a week, but a true 4 days a week, meaning that The other 3 days, no jumping, checking emails, checking Facebook messages, all totally disconnected. That would be my absolute dream. If that'll ever happen, I don't know. But I think that would be a dream job if it was a true 4 days a week.
Yeah. It'll happen if you make it happen.
Yes.
It will take a few changes to be able to do that, I'm sure, because I know that, I'm assuming that you're like most of us, where you monitor what's happening, even if you are giving yourself downtime.
Yep. And I'm a huge bottleneck in my own business because I want things to be perfect. Yes.
Yep. I can completely understand that. Because hello, bottleneck here too. And that's okay. It's fine as long as you own it and that's what you're happy with. And when you're not, you make the change.
That's exactly right.
What it comes down to, because never mind what anything that we're doing, we've got to, to be truly happy, we've got to live life on our own terms. And if that's your terms, then that's your terms. So, is there some way, like, I know that you've got a couple of events and things coming up. Tell us about that. Tell us about the things that you've got happening, and ways that people can find you to, like, even just to meet you and have a conversation.
Okay, so to do with our event that's coming up. So every year, Leonie Brassey and I do what we call Kabbalah Ladies Day, and it's a lovely day with over 100 country women, and all women really, but it has started with country women raising funds for Heart Kids, which is very close to both of us. And we're having our next one on the 21st of October, and it's a sunset soiree this year. So we've got beautiful a winery, and we've got beautiful Spanish food coming, and we have 2 guest speakers. We have Al Maben, who is the a beautiful outback photographer, and she has a beautiful story to tell, and along with her success in publishing beautiful books and her whole ecosystem of things that have gone on in her life. And then we also have those 2 sisters who are passionate ladies who do motivational speaking, inspiring speaking, and help people along the way. So and that's on the 21st of October. You can book online, www.kabbalaladiesday.com.au.
Nice. So where's that actually being held?
So it's being held at the Kabbalah Hall.
Nice. Yep.
Yes, and so that's just obviously out of Kabbalah. And a sunset soiree. Yeah,
beautiful. Tell me a little bit more about Heart Kids. I don't know a lot about it, honestly. I've heard, like, I've seen little bits here and there, but I don't know a lot about it. Tell me about that one.
So Heart Kids is a very underfunded organisation that helps people who have children with born genetic heart conditions, and some survive and some do not, and they offer support for all those things that surround that.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And so is Heart Kids for people like all over the state? Is it sort of tied to any particular hospital, or is it anyone who's sort of dealing with this within their life?
Yeah, anyone. So it is Australia wide, but we hone, or Leonie hones the funds to Heart Kids Queensland.
Yeah, nice. Okay. Yep. That's lovely. Well, there's so many questions that I want to ask you. I'm like, which one do I pick now?
Yeah.
Tell me, okay, don't mind me, let my brain work a little bit for a moment. So in terms of the way you were talking about that, this, where you are right now, this is your dream, essentially your dream business, except for the time frame. What's it taken for you to get to that point? So, because quite frankly, I think there's a lot of people who want to live in that space, like where you're living in a space right now, in a life that you're loving, a business that you're loving, you're in a beautiful space. I know you worked a lot of long hours to be able to create that space. But tell us a bit about that journey of starting and developing this through to where you are now, where you are. Like, or have you always just been happy with it, or have you wanted to step forwards? Like, what does that look like for you?
So I make plans. So I do strategic plans. Nothing for me just happens. I have to do it via steps. And so I have, we use a program, online software called Asana, but before that, it used to be note paper. And I make through and I decide on my goal. And then I work, this is what I want. And then I work backwards to break down how to get it.
Yep.
And that could be financially, it could be strategically, it could be even as like right in the beginning, like I want to meet this person, so, or I want to network with this person, or I want to I want them to notice me. So I guess and because I want to work with them because I love their business and I love their brand and I want to be a part of that, I guess. So the ways to do that, I mean, it can be even as small as just cheerleading them on Facebook. And then one day out of the blue, they go, "Hi, Nat, I notice you always comment and you always share and you always do stuff with our business. We need a whatever. Can we meet?" And I go, "Yes."
Lovely.
And then from then on, I just I have a goal in mind, and I'm not big in woo woo. I'm not but I do have a little bit on board that I like, and I put the goal out there, announce it to the universe, and say this is what I want, and hopefully it comes true. And you know what? It usually does. If you want it bad enough, and you actively work on that, it will happen.
Yeah. It's that focused attention, isn't it? Of the and then deliberately, like you said, you're deliberately working towards it. It's one of the things that I think many people don't understand the significance of that, of being very clear on what it is that you want, and then taking the logical next step, whatever that is, like where you've got this massive goal way up here and you're here at the moment, but there's always steps along the way. And just knowing what that logical next step is for the next thing that will take you that one bit closer to that big goal that you're looking for.
Look, absolutely. I mean, look, even as small as I used to drive up my driveway and down my driveway every day and look over and go, that's where my studio is going to be. And I did that for a year.
Oh, really? Yeah. That's beautiful. I love that. It's such a powerful thing, man. I wish more people would do this more often. Because quite frankly, my thing is I want people to be happy with what they're doing. And I want them to be successful, and you're living proof that there's you put this focus and attention into exactly what it is that you want. First you've got to define what you want, then when you put the focus and attention into it, then you can move forwards in the direction that you truly want to be in. It's incredibly powerful stuff, and so many people just thanks.
Exactly. And look, life's not a dress rehearsal.
Yeah,
this is it.
Yeah, absolutely.
We don't get a practice run.
This is so true. Let me just double check messages again before I've got one more question for you. Lucia has hopped on to say good morning. Lucia, who was up with and had lunch with us on Saturday.
Yes.
I'm losing track of days.
So long ago.
Michelle said, love this, girls, living a life on our terms. Terry and Natalie, that Ladies' Day is absolutely beautiful. It was such a highlight last year. Such magnificent stories, food, and lovely women. I have been trying to get to Kabbalah Ladies' Day.
No.
I don't even know for how long now, probably 5 years.
Yeah. Yes.
Every time there's a clash, and I've got another one this year.
And it's a huge clash too. It's not like you can reschedule it. It's like huge clashes. Yes. Yeah,
so, Shawna, you get to choose between Nat or I for the evening. The joys of it. And Sally Jess has hopped on and said good morning as well.
Yes.
So I think that's all our comments so far for the day, which has been lovely. Before we wrap up, just one last thing. What's your biggest tip that you would like to give people? About anything.
About anything. Okay, so for life, it's not what you say, it's how you make them feel.
Mhm.
And for business, you're only as good as your last job.
Yep, very true. Very, very true. Love it, Nat. Thank you so much for today. I so appreciate your time. Please jump back in and drop your links and whatever. I'm sure like I said, I've tried to tag your business. I'm not sure whether or not it worked, but please drop your links in there so if people want to get in contact with you that they can do that really easily. Good morning, Michelle. Yeah. So and share wherever you like so that people can see more about who you are and what you do. It would be lovely.
Thank you, Terry. Thank you.
Now, no, thank you. Can't believe we finally managed to do this after all this time. I'm very glad. All right. So thank you so much. But for now, for everybody, it's bye from me.